Attorney General Pam Bondi facing backlash from both sides of the aisle over her comments that the Department of Justice will absolutely target anyone engaging in hate speech. She made those comments in a podcast interview with Katie Miller, wife of President Trump's top advisor, Stephen Miller, adding, quote, "There's free speech and then there's hate speech." Bondi later tried to clarify her comments, writing on social media, quote, "Hate speech that crosses the line into threats of violence is not protected by the First Amendment. It's a crime." Many conservatives continue to push back, including Fox News analyst Brit Hume, who wrote, "Someone needs to explain to Ms. Bondi that so-called hate speech, repulsive though it may be, is protected by the First Amendment. She should know this." House Speaker Mike Johnson also weighed in, saying in part, quote, we do not censor and silence disfavored viewpoints. People in America are allowed to say crazy things." The late Charlie Kirk himself posted last year, quote, "Hate speech does not exist legally in America. There's ugly speech, there's gross speech, there's evil speech, and all of it is protected by the First Amendment." President Trump was asked about Bondi's remarks yesterday by ABC's Jonathan Karl.
And what do you make Pam Bondi saying she's going to go after hate speech? Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech.
You probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech. So maybe they'll have to go after you. Look, we want everything to be fair. It hasn't been fair. And the radical left has done tremendous damage to the country. But we're fixing it. We have right now the hottest country anywhere in the world. And remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead. And now Washington, D.C. is fixed, and I fixed it. The mayor was fine. The mayor was just fine, okay? The mayor had the sick city for many years. He's been mayor for many years. The one that fixed it was me and my people, and it is so safe. You should take your beautiful wife tonight and have dinner down there. You won't be shot. You won't be accosted. You won't even be looked at incorrectly by anybody.
So, Willie, there's so much to sort through there. First of all, Donald Trump goes from sort of this stream of consciousness situation where he goes from sort of WWF fighter mode to Mar-a-Lago concierge. You should take your beautiful wife down out to, he knows John Karl. He knows John. He's the first person who's ever said that John Karl's heart is filled with hatred. He knows it's not. He knows John Karl and likes John Karl. But this is what happens in a day's time. You have an attorney general who says, I'm going after people who say things that we don't like, that we call hate speech, when prodded along by the interviewee saying, hey, when do we start putting handcuffs on people for saying things that they think are hatred? And you see how quickly this is the most extreme version of, and I know Claire will talk to this too, about what our law professors talked about when they warned us of a, quote, slippery slope. That this was a slip and slide that was like going down from like Mount Kilimanjaro. It went very quickly from a stupid thing an attorney general said to a stupid thing that a president said to the very things, Willie, that we have heard people on the far right push back on for years. The very things they hated, they have now become. I mean, Elon Musk, the free speech absolutist. Remember, we need to let everybody say the most offensive, horrible, dangerous things, basically, online. And we have to do it because we're free speech champions. Those old Twitter people weren't. And, of course, the free press, who I commend them for actually coming out and going, wait a second, guys, this is what we've been warning against. And think about all of the battles on college campuses. What were those battles about? Speech codes, politically protected speech. Like, my God, I mean, it is, Willie, you said it. You said it yesterday. In so many ways, these people are doing the very thing they have been campaigning and screaming against for a decade now.
It's amazing. Weaponization of government. They're talking now about going after organizations they view as leftist, they view as funding left-wing. We're going to use the government to go after that. Cancel culture. We're going to go through and find people who said the wrong thing about Charlie Kirk's murder and report them to their bosses and get them fired. And then free speech, of course, being the biggest one there, that now we're going to consider hate speech somewhere outside the First Amendment under Pam Bondi. And Claire, it goes without saying the president didn't answer the question there because there's not a good answer to it. I mean, there is an easy answer, but there's not a good one when your AG is out there saying that hate speech is different from what's protected under the First Amendment. Somehow he got from a question about free speech to Jonathan Karl's dinner plans in D.C. last night. But everything we've seen since the awful, grotesque assassination of Charlie Kirk in terms of how this administration has begun to use it now as a lever of power, what do you make of it?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because you all have been talking about that this was a moment, this horrific act of violence that was motivated by everything that should never motivate someone to kill another person. That it's pretty obvious that's a moment. And, you know, when you're a leader, there's an instinct that kicks in, that should kick in. Okay, this is a moment that I am supposed to lead. This is a moment where 99% of the country is in agreement, and I can step out in front of that and bring down the temperature and do a lot to repair my image with people that are very skeptical in this country. That's what should have happened after this horrific act of violence. That's what the president should have done. When he got that question, that instinct should have kicked in, and he should have walked Pam Bondi's comment back. We are upset right now because of what happened to Charlie Kirk, and the Attorney General was feeling that, and she said something that is being misinterpreted. We're not going to censor our opponents. And Pam Bondi, look what she's done within the MAGA movement. First, we've got Epstein, where she said, I've got the list on my desk. Then she trashes the legacy of Charlie Kirk. If Charlie Kirk said, I want a legacy, he probably would have said free speech.
Right.
He would have said, I want it to be that you can go out and say whatever you want to say. And in America, there are no handcuffs. And instead, what Pam Bondi does is she trashes that legacy and threatens cuffs for anybody who says anything that they disagree with.
And urges that people be fired if they say things that are seen as inappropriate.
Wow.
So
I just think when Trump got that question yesterday, it's what you would think for anybody who's a normal political leader. It would be a softball right over the plate that he could take and turn into a situation where he would be admired even by those who don't like him. And he can't do that. His instincts are so wired to, I'm the best, I'm the one, I'm the only one, and everyone else besides me sucks. And that's what his instincts are. And it is a terrible instinct for President of the United States. And we see it every day in many different things he does. And this is a good example.
And still ahead.